Latitude and longitude, organizing the Earth. We will take a look at latitude and longitude lines today and see how it creates a grid on the Earth in which we can locate places easily. Latitude. Latitude lines run horizontally. They are called parallels. They are measured in degrees. We will learn several special lines of latitude, the first of which you've already heard of, and that is the equator, which is at 0 degrees. Lines of latitude locate places north and south of the equator. So we simply start at the equator, and in order to find our location, we either move north of the equator a certain number of degrees or south of the equator a certain number of degrees. The North Pole is located at exactly 90 degrees north latitude, and the South Pole is located at exactly 90 degrees south latitude. Latitudes. There are several special lines of latitude other than the equator. The Arctic Circle is in the north, and it crosses through the Arctic Ocean. That is one way you can remember where the Arctic Circle is. It is at approximately 66.5 degrees north. At about 23.5 degrees north, you will find another special line of latitude called the Tropic of Cancer. Continuing further south, we will hit the equator at 0 degrees. Then, if we move 23.5 degrees south, we will find the Tropic of Capricorn. Finally, at 66.5 degrees south, we see the Antarctic Circle. We can remember that the Antarctic Circle is in the south because it crosses near Antarctica. One way to remember which tropic is in the north and which one is in the south is if we alphabetize them from north to south or top to bottom. Cancer would come first. Anything north of the equator we call north latitudes. Anything south of the equator we call south latitudes. Excuse me. Longitude lines. Longitude lines run vertically. They are not parallels, they are meridians. They are not equidistant from each other, but rather they collide at the north and south poles. The special line of longitude that you will need to remember is the prime meridian, which is found at 0 degrees longitude. Lines of longitude begin at the prime meridian and move either east or west in order to locate a place. There are 180 degrees east longitude and 180 degrees west longitude, which makes up 360 degrees. As you can see at the diagram at the top, lines of longitude get closer together as they near the poles and further apart as they span the equator. Here we have the prime meridian and a visual of east longitude and west longitude. You can see north and south at top and bottom and west and east on either side. See the 180 degree line is opposite of Greenwich, England. Hemispheres. The prime meridian and the equator divide the world in halves. The equator, as you can see on the left, divides the Earth into the northern hemisphere, which is shaded, or the southern hemisphere, which is shaded. The prime meridian divides the Earth into halves the opposite way. You can see west of the prime meridian is the western hemisphere, and it is shaded, and east of the prime meridian is the eastern hemisphere, and it is shaded. Time zones. Time zones are broad strips that measure 15 degrees wide. They follow roughly lines of longitude. Time zones generally differ by 1 hour. Our contiguous United States has 4 time zones: Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. We live in the Central Time Zone. You probably have already gotten used to a TV show that you like to watch. It begins at 8 o'clock Eastern. You quickly know that that doesn't mean 8 o'clock our time because we are Central. It means 7 o'clock Central. In the spring, we have daylight saving time, when we shift the clocks ahead or we spring forward 1 hour. In the fall, we fall back 1 hour. Local and universal time. Local time is what we use here at school. It regulates our lives. Meal time, sleep time, work time, school time. Universal time is what we use when we need a time that is agreed upon by the marking the time worldwide. That way, globally speaking, we know exactly what time it is, or approximately what time it is in different countries around the world. Greenwich Mean Time is registered at Greenwich, England. Another name for Greenwich Mean Time is Universal Time. The international dateline was established at the 180th degrees meridian. When we cross it, the date advances one day. If you are going west, you will go back one day. Advance one day. If you're going east, you will go back one day. Let's summarize. Number 1, what do lines of latitude and longitude combine to make? If you wrote down a grid, you are correct. Number 2, compare and contrast latitude and longitude. So here you need to quickly jot down what lines of latitude are, which direction they run, and same with longitude. Lines of latitude run horizontal. You go north or south of the equator, and they are parallel to one another. Lines of longitude are vertical. They run east-west of the prime meridian and are called meridians. Now, as you continue through the questions, pause after each question, write down your answer, and then begin playing again to check yourself. What is 0 degrees latitude? Equator. What is 0 degrees longitude? Prime meridian. How many time zones do we have in the United States of America? 4. Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. Explain the difference between local and universal time. Local time is used every day, while universal time is used for planetary event or for astronomy. This concludes the latitude and longitude lesson.